How good has your game been feeling the last couple weeks in general? It's been a pretty sustained stretch where you've been scoring and shooting the ball pretty well. How good does that feel?
Yeah, feels good. I've been able to play a lot in the games, find the flow, find the rhythm, and kind of carry it on game to game. So, yeah, it felt good.
How critical has it been getting consistent playing time these last few weeks? How much has that helped just with where you're at right now?
Yeah, it's been big, been great. That's how I always play. So just being away from that and having to figure it out is always going to be different. You never kind of know what you're going to get, but just staying ready, keeping that mentality. And that's like I've done it the hard way. So being able to get the minutes and get the consistency makes the game a lot easier for me.
How do you feel about kind of the 4-2 homestand overall and maybe a little bit of the momentum you guys have built?
Yeah, solid. Get some wins under the belt. That's a winning record. So glad to be able to do that while we're at home, protect the fort. But now we got to carry it on, go on the road, and really form an identity.
Pretty different story offensively in the second half for you guys as a team. What would you just say was the biggest change at halftime?
Coach broke a clipboard in the timeout, so just light a fire under, just getting us ready, getting us woken up a little bit. But we moved the ball a lot, took the shots that was open, played faster. I think it all contributed.
Does Steve break many clipboards?
That's his first one that I've seen this year. Since I've been here, we usually got more than that by this point of the year. So he's broken a few.
Yeah. What do you the reason for the slow start took more than 3 minutes before you guys even scored the first 2 points? How come such a slow start today?
Yeah, we got some good shots. Shots wasn't falling. But they wasn't falling both ways. So I don't necessarily know what it was or why it was that way, but I'm glad we got it figured out. Got to come out with the win.
I was just going to ask what timeout you remember Steve snapping the clipboard?
I don't remember which one it was. I think it was second quarter, maybe third. I don't know.
You remember what he was mad about specifically?
Just trying to wake us up. You didn't feel like we were locked in and giving it all we got. So that was kind of the message, wake up.
For sure.
Cool, great. What's their surprise at the Luka trade, the Luka for AD trade? How did that one land with you?
Just because of how kind of out of the blue it was without any type of hint or rumor or any kind of sign. That's, especially them coming off the finals, like, it's a reminder. Maybe only a few in this league that can go to sleep with, any type of confidence, but that you'll still be there. It's kind of a very unique situation across the board, but I think just the idea that it happened in silence was pretty crazy. The fact that you hear a trade and everybody thinks somebody's been hacked is hilarious. The idea that, we always want to try to get better. We feel like we should have a better record, especially with our start. Like, the narratives around our team, there's so many because of the standard that we've set, because we won championships, because me and Draymond are still here and we're trying to, and Loon, like, we're trying to get back to that level while we still have years to play. Like, everything is heightened. There's a sense of urgency, but you have to understand, everybody in here needs to play better, regardless of what happens this week, regardless of the situation we find ourselves in. I don't want that to get lost, and we, have accountability in this locker room. I don't think anybody's really played up to their standard. So you take that with the fact that every team is trying to get better, especially when you say you want to win and you work like you want to win. And, I think as long as, I'm in here, that should be the goal.
Good. I just got to get my legs back underneath me and get my rhythm back. But I could defend, so I'll live with that for now.
Could you explain, as much as you can, what you were kind of going through with the calf?
Yeah, I had a little small tear in my calf, and so it was just rehabbing it. First few days it was really sore, And then after that, you know, gradually got better. It's tricky. First thing Rick said to me was like, it's one of those things that you don't know, like it just go, like, and there was no signs or nothing like that, like I wasn't tight or anything. It just kind of goes, and so it's tricky because as you're going through the rehab process, you have to be conscious of that. Like at any point, it can just go. So being careful, but I always tell y'all Rick's the best in the game, so I just follow along his plan every day. He asks me how I feel. I tell him I feel pretty good, and then he come up with a plan and put the plan together, and I execute it. So. You know, it's good to rehab and get stronger, but I'm happy to be back playing because the rehab process here is pretty hard. They kind of crush you, like 7-hour days. Everybody else come in for 2 hours, so I'm happy to be back playing.
I've heard guys feel any more tense or anxious around here, considering where you're at in the standings, kind of, you know, where you guys are as a franchise and even what's going on around the league?
I mean, I think, you know, obviously, I think we probably have one of the most outspoken, what are they called now, governors?
You're talking about Joe Lacob.
Yeah. He's probably one of the most outspoken, if not the most outspoken. And so, in saying that, we all know that he's pissed sitting at 500. And so you'll be a fool to sit back and think like, oh man, everything's just that. Like not with that guy. That guy is always trying to win. You know, he's always pushing the envelope as much as he can. And so you understand that. You know, you gotta know your people and who you're dealing with. And he does not ever. You ever look at him when we losing?
Look, all game. He's just seeing all game.
He ain't going for no losing. And so sitting at 500, you know, you got to expect that they're going to look to be aggressive. You know, it's not an organization that's going to do anything dumb, but they're going to look to be aggressive, and I understand it. I respect it. So, yes, when you're sitting at 500 and you have the expectations as an organization that we have, it's definitely going to be a little more intense. And then you add into the fold of, like, Luka Doncic just got traded, so everyone think everything's possible at this point, right? If you saw that and you didn't call on every superstar, you're crazy. Like, that's just the reality, right? So, you know, take all those things into account. De'Aaron Fox got traded. You take all those things into account, you bet your bottom dollar is tense, but it should be. This ain't some organization that's just looking to be around 500. We want to compete, so it's definitely a little more tense than normal.
Isn't Joe's ambition kind of in line with you and Steph, though? I mean, wanting to, this 500 ain't sitting well with y'all either, right?
Yeah, you don't win as much as we have if those ambitions don't align.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So they definitely align. You know, we want to compete, and it hasn't gone quite the way we thought it would go. But in saying that, yet and still feel very comfortable with these guys in the locker that we have in our locker room, and still think that we can win. But like I said, ultimately the decision's not ours. But I think there's definitely a sense of urgency, and you know, we acknowledge that, understand.
Appreciate it.